Deena Beard here. I want to talk to you for just a few minutes about achieving metacognition. We say that Feuerstein's instrumental enrichment program is a metacognitive intervention program. Well, what does that mean? I want to talk about that for just a couple of minutes. Meta means to refer to the self. So you're kind of referring to the way you do something. Cognitive means thinking. So metacognitive or metacognition means to consider or to think about or to refer to yourself about your own thinking. When we're thinking about our own thinking processes, we all do this naturally. We say, here's what I thought about yesterday, or I decided to do A over B, or here's the way I'm going to study for the test. And in those cases, we are being metacognitive, but it's usually about a problem or a narrow definition or a situation. What we're talking about now is to be more metacognitive about all of our thinking processes all the time. We want this to become almost an automatic thing. Actually, we do want it to be automatic, that we're always kind of considering, is this the best way to do something? What's the strategy to use? Have I done this before? What's going to be the best way? So on and so forth. I have a 3x3 matrix right here. Think, talk, learn on both axes. And the idea is that you can take any two and put them together and have another way to kind of elevate your state of metacognition, or another way to be a little more metacognitive. One of the things that I love about Feuerstein was that he took things that we do naturally. Yes, we think about our thinking. Yes, we talk about our thinking. He took things that we do naturally and fixed a structure for them, made a model, gave us a way to formally study, learn, analyze, work around, improve anything about our thinking. He did that with mediated learning experience. He did that with structural cognitive modifiability. He used the cognitive functions so that we could study behavior, so that we could consider what skills cognitively that our children have, or that our adults or our clients, whoever we're working with. I really like that about him. This is kind of that same idea, not exactly the same, but I want us to have a way to just refer to the idea of elevating our metacognition, our state of metacognition. In targeting one of these, talk about thinking. Sometimes we naturally talk about thinking, but I want to look a little closer at that idea. I'll give you an example. Sometimes I lose my keys. I can't find them. So in my mind I retrace my steps. Sometimes I physically retrace my steps. Still can't remember where I put my keys. And occasionally what it takes is me to open my mouth and say to my husband, honey, do you know where oh, never mind, I remember. Sometimes when I'm trying to recall a name or where I've been or something else through the day, I've learned to just quit trying to retrace it in my mind and finally just start talking about it. And sometimes when I talk about it and even say to myself, now who was, oh yes, I remember. The difference, before I was considering, now I'm considering. I was trying to remember in both cases, but when I finally remembered, it was, I have to think it was because I spoke and I said the words. When we speak, we hear our own voices, which involves more of our brain in a perceptual way. Anytime we can involve more perceptual systems, learning becomes a little more complete, a little more thorough, maybe. So in talking about thinking, you can actively hear what you have to say about that. Listen, does it make sense? Was your thinking faulty? When you talk out loud, you do a few things. One is you can kind of self-check your thinking. You can decide, was that something that I need to redo, or is that a good strategy that I can use somewhere else? It also aids memory, as I referred to before. Talking really does a lot for us. So this week, as you think of a place to start on this and achieving metacognition, think about trying that. It can feel a little silly to talk out loud to yourself, And I'm going to say that I've learned in the car is a great place when you're driving by yourself. If you're walking on the path, if you're doing something alone, it's a great time to vocalize and verbalize your thinking. See how it holds up. It will elevate your ability to almost automatically start being a little more metacognitive about your thinking processes. So this week, as you either work with your students, whether it's the first time you've had Feuerstein or you've already had plenty of classes with it, please just think of a way to take some of these and talk about them with yourself, with your students, with your clients, even with your own children. Let's all work at achieving a little more metacognition. Thanks for listening.